Well then, in my last video I was going to go for a ride on the bike and show you the bike first, but unfortunately the camera was on a chest mounted thing which looked really good when we were riding along, but wasn't so good for actually showing you the bike, because you didn't get to see really any of it, did you? So with that in mind, I thought I'd just do a shorter video today, probably shorter anyway, to well, really point out the salient parts of the bike, and that you might be interested in. So we'll move a bit closer, which seems to be working. Starting from the back, look, that's a chunky old tyre, isn't it? That's a 255/17, which is actually a sports bike size, I think, but the front is a 140, so you couldn't put a match pair on. If you go along a bit, you can see the offending shocks underneath there. The shocks actually go in here, which is why the bike handle's a bit weird, but it does look good. So that's not so bad. You can see the short shots we were talking about the other day. They look good. And there is the gearbox right there. Harley's have a 3-hole oil system really, which is like a pre-unit idea. The idea is you've got your engine, your gearbox separately, and your primary separately. The gearbox oil only gets changed once every 20,000 miles. I've only done mine once. And the engine oil we change every 5,000 miles, and the primary on the other side, that's every 10,000 miles. Looks nice, doesn't it? This is the heavy breather I was on about the other day, which is just an air filter. It just brings it forward and I can get my knee in, to be honest, without it sticking out. That was the only reason for it. As you can see here, ground clearance isn't brilliant. So that's where I've worn those off somewhat. There's front tyres. It's a 140 section. That's pretty weird really, but there you go. And there's the wonderful look of the front of a Harley Fat Boy, which looks like a bit like a steam train somehow. I don't quite know why, but it does. On this side, got the primary. That's this. You got your clutch in here. That's a separate unit to the engine. Again, you've got your footboards, which are pretty useful for moving your feet about, staying comfortable. Quite good actually. Petrol tank is 5 US gallons, which is about 4.5, I think, UK gallons. It'll do 200 miles before it runs out, which is more than enough, I think. I did once ride from where I live in Crawley to Mersey Island and back in Essex. That's quite a long way on one tank, so I was quite pleased with that. Here's the famous belt drive that Harleys have. Well, you can just see it. You can't really see it, but it's under here, and have these guards because you don't want to get a stone in there or anything. It will mess it up quite quickly. They are good actually. They're very reliable. As I said the other day, I have known them break, but only once or twice, and I've known a lot of Harleys. I worked in the motorcycle industry for 25 years. I've seen a lot of Harleys go through, and they're very reliable belts. Very good. On the back I've got a quick detachable rack, which again is my saddleman bag sitting on it at the moment. And you'll notice the rear seat isn't the standard little skinny seat that you have on a Fat Boy. This is from a Heritage Softail. It's a bit more comfortable for my missus when she rides on the back of it. In fact, it's very comfortable. We've done hundreds and hundreds of miles on it. And that, I think, really is the bike. So I'm going to go off for a ride. Cheers. off I go. Obviously with my crash helmet on now. Anyway, I wanted to, well, as by way of an introduction really, just say, I don't know about you, but I've had motorbikes since I was 16 years old, which was in 1980, which is 46 years I think of riding, or 45 years of riding. Oh, it's something anyway, it's a long time. And I've never had a break. Never had a time where I didn't have a bike. I've always had at least one bike and I've always been riding. I suppose really that was helped by the fact that from 1991 to 2021 I worked mostly in the motorcycle industry. There was a brief period where I sold new bikes for a Triumph dealership, but mostly working the same place, selling second-hand bikes, you know. Now when we started in 1991, they were quite old bikes, you know, that's all we could afford really. Z1000s and Z650s and stuff like that. I know those are classics now, but at the time they were just old shitters really. They were just old bikes and we just sold them. And then we got into the Japanese import market about 1992 or 93, and it did just go mad really. And well, we sold a lot of bikes and we went from there to selling new parallel imports for a little bit, you know, where you bought them bought brand new bikes but from Europe, which you could do in those days, and sell them in the UK for less than you know, the franchise's money. And then we went to second-hand bikes, and that's how it went along really. And well, what I'm saying is I don't know everything about motorbikes, God knows, but I do know a bit about a lot of different things, a lot of individual things, and not everything by a long chalk. I was a salesman and a shop manager and that kind of thing, not a mechanic. I have the greatest respect for mechanics. I'm an amateur mechanic, I think, really, but that's at best. I wish this fella would get out of my way. But that was as an introduction really. God, that really smells, that lorry in front of me. Lorry? Yeah, lorry. I shall turn left if I can and avoid him. Yep, there we go. Yeah, so as I was saying, I've had a lot of experience with motorcycles, probably like many of you have that are watching. Yeah, cheers mate, don't pull over or anything, will you? Yeah, I mean, please let us know in the comments how many years you've been riding. Looking at the analytics of the last video, it would appear that the age of the audience is kind of 45 years old plus, which is absolutely to be expected. So please let us know. And I would like to thank everybody that watched the last video. It really did take off, that last one, which, considering I said I was going to show you the bike and didn't, is pretty good really. So yes, thanks again. I'm getting nowhere on this road today, am I? I tell you what, it is a lovely bike to ride on a day like today, a Harley Fat Boy. You're not in a hurry, you're just going along, and all the world is good. I'm trying out these new gloves. Look, they're not actually motorcycling gloves, they're shooting gloves, and the reason that I'm trying them is because on the Triumph I've got a quad lock for my phone, which I shall be using in France as a sat-nav. But you can't operate your phone with gloves on, can you? But these ones, because they're shooting gloves, they well, the finger comes back so that you've got a finger on your trigger, but that would be able to work the phone. So I'm trying these gloves to see if they feel comfortable. I have to say, so far they're all right. Anyway, enough of this rambling, I think. I'm going to go for a little ride on my bike because it's my day off again. So I'm going to go down here, down this tiny little road. Hopefully not get squashed by anybody. So, again, thanks everybody that's been watching, and thanks for watching today. Please click like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really does make a difference. Thanks and goodbye. Cheers now. Bye bye.